Okay, arithmetic sequences. That was our first lesson. It was about what? What are arithmetic sequences?
The differences are the same.
Differences are the same. So an example would be?
7 plus 10, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19,
Yes.
Definitely not the ones on the board.
So it just keeps going up by 3 and the pattern repeats. Is this a finite sequence or infinite?
Infinite. Oh, no, that one.
Oh, that's fine, because these are brackets.
Yes, that's finite. If it kept going, then it would be infinite. Okay? Okay. So arithmetic series are sum of the terms of an arithmetic sequence. So arithmetic sequence has a common difference and we denote it as D. Okay, so the way we write the sum of this arithmetic sequence is by Sn. This is the symbol we use to denote it. Okay, so sum of the nth number of terms in an arithmetic series is Sn. Okay, so here we have 4 terms given to us and we need to find the sum of the first 4 terms. 7 plus 10 plus 13 plus 16 is close 46.
I messed it up.
So if you look at this, this is the formula that we'll be using and it'll be in your formula sheet as well. Okay, all these formulas should be in your formula sheet. So Sn can be figured out by n over 2, where n is the number of terms, times 2t1. t1 was the first term, right? N minus 1, number of terms minus 1, times d. So if you remember, t1 plus n minus 1d is simply tn, right? So we can just change that and have n over 2 times t1 plus tn. And let's see if this actually works, right? So this is what we used as our example. We have 4 terms over 2. Our first term was 7 plus our last term was 16. 7 plus 16 is 23. And then 4 over 2 is 2. So 2 times 23 is 46 and it works. Right? So this lesson is pretty straightforward. You are given a formula, you just need to apply it and put in all the terms, just like what lesson 1 was about. So let's do a few questions. Determine the sum of an arithmetic series. Male fireflies flash in various patterns to signal location or to ward off predators. Suppose a particular firefly flashes twice in 2 minutes, 4 times in second minute, and 6 times in third minute. If the pattern continues, what is the number of flashes in the 15th minute? So whenever you're given a question, you need to figure out if it's arithmetic series or not. Okay, because in the test, you'll have a different type of series, which we'll learn about later. So we're going to check that. So it's 2, 4, 6, and so on. So it's going up by 2 every time. It is arithmetic. Okay, to find the 15th minute, we used a formula that we did last lesson. Tn is equal to T1 plus n minus 1 times the difference. Remember? So T1 is 2. The n is 15 because that's what we're finding, right? 15 minus 1 times the difference is 2. So that means we have 2 plus 14 times 2, which is 2 plus 28, and that's 30. So in the 15th minute, there will be 30 flashes. Good? Okay. Now they're asking us, what is the total number of flashes in 15 minutes? So because it's total number, we'll have to find the sum, which is Sn, right? And the formula for that will be n over 2 times T1 plus Tn, okay? So n is 15, 15 over 2, T1 is 2 plus Tn is 30. So it'll be 15 over 2 times 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 15 times 16 is 240 flashes.
I know it works both ways, but how come you divide it to 16 instead of the 15?
Oh, like why did I do 32 divided by 2?
Or just because it's easier?
Yeah, because otherwise, like when you're multiplying, essentially, it's 15 over 2 times 32 over 1. Do you guys remember cross multiplication, right? So like because this didn't work, I cannot simplify it. Then I chose to look at these things and see if I can divide them, and it's easier for me. Otherwise, I would have to do 7.5 times 32. So, should we move on? Questions? Okay. So the next question, they have given us a series of terms, right? So in the series, they have the first thing I would like to check is if it's arithmetic or not. So the difference that's going on is by -5. So we know our D is going to be -5. T1 is 3 and Tn is -37. Because it's ending at a point, that means it's finite. All I need to do is use my formula now, right? So Sn is going to be n over 2 times T1 plus Tn. But I don't know my n. How can I find my n?
Well, you do like times by 5 plus 3 and something.
That doesn't make any sense because
We have our Tn though. The formula for Tn was 1 T1 and minus 1 times D. I think you just missed T1. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said plus 3.
I see. So we're going to replace that. It's going to be -37 is equal to T1 is 3 plus n minus 1, and our difference is -5. So I'm going to use my distributive property. It's going to, and I can also subtract my 3 on both sides. So I get -37 minus 3, which is -40, and then distribute it, which gives me -5n plus 5. Okay, now I'm just solving for n. -5 on both sides gives me -40 minus 5, which is -45, is equal to -5n. Divide both sides by -5, which gives me n is equal to 9. Now that you have your n, try figuring out what Sn will be. Okay, can you tell me how exactly?
that does not make any sense. We're taking pictures and ask don't because like maybe he'll. No, they don't know, so that they make any sense. So we do that. Continue on. Let's just do it's always easy. So continue on. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Can we do the next question if I can?
Yes.
8.
Should we go over it? Okay, so since we have our n, which is 9, I'm just gonna put that in the formula. So n will be replaced by 9, t1 will be replaced by 3, tn will be replaced by negative 37. Negative 37 plus 3 is negative 34 times 9 over 2. Now, 34 divided by 2, because this will give me a decimal, so I chose to work on this. Negative 34 divided by 2 is negative 17. So 9 times negative 17 is negative 153.
How do you know that negative 37 is the Tn?
Because it's not continuing, it's just a full stop, and that's our series. Okay, try the next 3 questions, then we can discuss that. The next one, total T1 is 1, T2 is 100. Total number of terms are 100. So we'll just use Sn is equal to n over 2 times T1 plus Tn or T100, because that's our last term. So 100 over 2 times 1 plus 100. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So I have 50 times 101, which is 5,050. Make sense? The next question, we need to find the sum again, Sn. We don't know what our n is. We do know T1 and we know Tn, whatever that is. So what should we find out first? Find the n. The difference is negative 4. It's going down by 4. So Tn will be T1 plus n minus 1 times d, where our difference is negative 4. We don't know what n is. T1 is negative 8. Tn is negative 32. So we add 8 on both sides. Minus 32 plus 8 is negative 24 is equal to, let's distribute our 4, which gives me negative 4n plus 4, subtract 4 on both sides. I get negative 28 is equal to negative 4 over n. Divide both sides by negative 4. and I get n is equal to 7. Now that I know my n, I can find S of n. Okay, so that'll be n over 2 times t1 plus tn, sorry. 7 over 2 times negative 8 plus negative 32, which gives me 7 over 2 times negative 40. Negative 40 divided by 2 is negative 20. 7 times negative 20 is negative 140. And that will be our sum of all the terms until the 7th term.
How come you divide 2 by 40? Why can't you just do 7 divided by 2? Like, what's...
The only reason is it'll give me decimals. So I'll have 3.5 times negative 40, and you can calculate it on a calculator, which works. You should get the same answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it just looks nicer?
When I do it,
Oh, like instead of going 3.5, 20.
it's because in India we do not really use calculators. So that's why this is what I've learned. And also it keeps my mental math sharp, so. But you can do either way. Okay, the next question. The sum of the first 2 terms is 13. So we know this tells us that S2 is 13. And sum of first 4 terms is 46. Find out what the first terms of the series are. We don't know what T1 is. We don't know what D is. Okay? But we do know that the formula of Sn is equal to n over 2 times 2t1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay? So I'll just use that. S2 is equal to 2 over 2 times 2t1 plus 2 minus 1 times d. Let's simplify that. 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? When we have 2 minus 1, that's 1 again. So we're left with 2t1 plus d. So, and our S2 is 13, so I'm going to replace that. That's my first equation. Okay? Now for S4, which is equal to 46, I'm going to use the same formula. 4 over 2 times 2t1 plus n is 4, so 4 minus 1 times d. Okay, let's simplify that as well. 4 divided by 2 is 2, right? So 2 times 2t1 plus 3d is equal to 46. Right? Now I want you guys to distribute this. So, or we can actually just divide both sides by 2, which gives me 23. So 23 is equal to 2t1 plus 3d. And that's my second equation. Okay? Questions so far? Okay. So now I can either use substitution or elimination to find my value of T1 and D. So is there a preference? Substitution or elimination? Okay, let's do that. So we have, let's subtract our second equation from our first equation. 23 is equal to 2t1 plus 3d minus 13 minus 2t1 minus d. 2t1 minus 2t1 gives me 0. 23 minus 13 is 10. 3d minus d is 2d. Divide both sides by 2. And I get d is equal to 5. Okay. Now let's put that back in our first equation. And that will help us figure out what T1 is, okay? So 13 is equal to 2T1 plus 5. Subtract 5 on both sides. 13 minus 5 is 8 is equal to 2T1. Divide both sides by 2. and I get T1 is equal to 4. So the first 6 terms will be 4, and we are going up by 5, right? So 9, 14, 19, 24, 29, right? And then for part B, the sum of 12 terms, S12, we'll use the same formula over here. So it'll be 12 over 2 times 2, T1 is 4, plus n is 12 minus 1 times our difference is 5. So I know it seems a lot, but I'm just putting in terms into the formula, okay? So we simplify that. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 11 times 5, which gives me 6 times 8 plus 55, and that's 378. We're almost out of time, so try doing the your turn questions. There are 3 of them on the next pages, and we can discuss them tomorrow if you have questions, but the answer key is posted on Google Classroom.
So no questions? Like the questions in the book, you still want us to do those?
You should do that. And the page numbers for your homework will be page 18 to 21.
So we have to do that.
Yes. But like comprehend this in the last few minutes to ask questions, because it is a lot. But if I were to break this down into steps, all I first did was make 2 equations. That was my step 1, making 2 equations, right? After that, I found the value of D and T1. That was my second step, using either elimination or substitution. Then I just added them. So 4 plus 5 plus 5 again, and I found 6 terms because that's what they wanted me to find. And then to figure out the sum of 12 terms, I have my T1, which is 4, D, which is 5, and I have N, which is 12. So I used this formula, which will be on your formula sheet, to figure out what S of 12 is.
How did you get 13, like up there, like 13 equals 2t plus 5? Is that you just picked one of the formulas and used it?
Because S1 or S2 is 13. So I just replaced it with 13 in the question.
But could you use 23? Or you have to use S2?
That's the other formula, isn't it?
It's not a formula. Sum of first 4 terms, S4, is 46. And sum of 2 terms is 13. So when I was doing S2, I replaced it by 13.
Okay, for the final answer,
378. Does that make sense?